Alright, welcome back to another market recap. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the market for today, September 19th, 2024. We're going to be looking at some trades that you could have taken, both from me and also from Dodgy and Justin. So, if you like this type of content, definitely consider leaving a like and subscribing, and let's all get better at this together. So, first, in the morning, in my live stream, I drew out Asia from 20 until midnight. I drew out London. Let me get rid of this. I drew out London from 2 until 5. And then we obviously had New York. So in between Asia and London, we had this manipulation down into this 1 hour for value gap. And to me, this seemed like essentially your London reversal, New York continuation, high time frame key level. So I was like, okay, so this was like the manipulation, and so London's essentially in between London and Asia kind of reversed, and now I feel like New York is gonna continue because on the high time frame we're bullish. We had all this low resistance liquidity that we were essentially going through a low resistance liquidity run with. So I was like, okay, on the high time frame we're bullish as well. You'll notice we have this previous month's high that's a very, very significant draw on liquidity. So I was like, okay, my guess is we are going to run up to that previous month's high. So at this point, I marked out both the midnight open down here, and then I also marked out the 8:30 open for New York. And so okay, here's 8:30. Throughout here, I was expecting some kind of manipulation below the 8:30 open, and at first I thought we were going to go to this 5-minute order block, but then I realized what would make a lot more sense is going to this 1 hour for value gap, because I wasn't sure we were going to actually go down this low at first. So right here I was like, we're going to go to this 5-minute order block. We reacted off the 5-minute order block, and I was like, dang, I was exactly right. And I was like, oh, we might get another entry. And then I was like, oh, we're probably going to go to this 1 hour for value gap. We went to the 1 hour for value gap. At which point, we swept this low. I was like, great. We reacted off a high time frame key level. We swept liquidity. We're coming back up. We're about to inverse this fair value gap. So this essentially is your entry, right? You could enter on this 1-minute inverse, or if you want a slightly better entry, you could have entered on this 30-second inverse, because this, yes, there's an external gap here, but it's so small, it's essentially like it's not there. So this 30-second inverse is your best entry you're gonna get. So enter on the 30-second inverse, stop loss below the gap or below the swing low, just depending on what you wanted. And then what happened here is I moved my stop loss to break even at this internal high, and that's what you're supposed to do, right? But I got stopped out at break even, right? And so in this kind of a situation, it's a conviction play, because we have the macro from 950 until 10:10. Well, I guess this happened. The macro was ending, I guess. But in general, this is a conviction play because you're pushing into this 1 hour for value gap. You're sweeping liquidity, pushed into this 1 hour for value gap. You got this inverse. You got this very high time frame draw on liquidity, this previous month's high. Your high time frame is bullish. In general, I probably should have had the conviction to hold here. Was it terrible that I got stopped at a break even? No, it's probably fine. But in general, if I were to redo this trade, would I have preferred to hold here because of conviction? Yeah, because it's just a key time for a manipulation move. This was a 9:30 Judas swing, and then 10 o'clock distribution. It was just pretty textbook, and I should have had a little bit more conviction with this play, and I should have not really moved my stop loss to break even because of the conviction with this play. So that's essentially what I got out of it. But let's talk about the way that Dodgy traded this and the way that Justin traded this, because they traded it slightly different than I did, and you can learn a lot from that. So Dodgy, you can see he just goes for these inversions and then goes for the immediate draw on liquidity and doesn't try for anything crazier. So he went inverse, take profit, stop loss to break even. Inverse, take profit, and then took profit a little bit more. And then he inversed again. So what does he do? He takes profit at the next immediate draw on liquidity. So he goes for these shorter moves, and I'm taking one trade a day. So I wanted to catch something a little bigger. So I entered on this 30-second inverse and got stopped at break even, but I would have liked to hold this because of conviction, and I would have definitely taken off quite a bit here, and then maybe a bit more at this high. There is a high right here that it reacted off of, so I had to take more off here, and then I would hold some for the previous month's high because that is a very high conviction draw on liquidity. All right, now let's take a look at how Justin traded this, because you can learn a lot from the way he traded it too. So you can see he gives the little motionless face here, and I'm guessing for the same reason that I'm feeling that way, because he got stopped out at break even as well. So you can see he entered off of this fair value gap, so he probably just did some basic sweep, fair value gap entry, right? So he did some kind of sweep, fair value gap entry. Now, there was no market structure shift, so I'm not exactly sure where he gets this entry from. Maybe it's because it's a BPR, but anyway, he enters on this BPR, takes profit here, gets stopped to break even. But he's also a little cheesed. He missed out on this whole big move here, and so I'm a little frustrated as well. But you know what? We're getting better every single day, and that's what matters. So hopefully you enjoyed this market recap, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.